Good morning to all. So in the last class we discussed about the printers, especially the inkjet printers, then the laser printers, etc. So today we have three another types of printers, which includes the solid ink printers, then the dye sublimation printers, and also the inkless printers, which is also known by the name thermal and UV printers. So these are the topics that we have to focus on regarding the topic the printers, which is the one of the most important topic which comes under the output unit. So in the last class we discussed about the printers, which is basically the impact printers, and regarding the impact printers we have the dot matrix printers, then the daisy wheel printers, and also the line printers. And then we discussed about the modern printers, which includes the toner based printers, which the best example for the toner based printers is the laser printer. Then we discussed about the liquid inkjet printer, in which the ink is used as the one of the major component of this kind of printers. Then we discussed about the following categories, which includes the solid ink printers, then the dye sublimation printers, and inkless printers. So today we have to focus on only on these three topics. Then we have the USB flash drives, the technology behind this kind of flash drives, components, its uses, merits and demerits, etc. So today we have to focus on the first topic, which is the printers, basically the modern printers. And the first one was regarding the laser printer, second one was the liquid inkjet printer, and now we have the solid ink printers. So the solid ink printers, also known as the phase change printers, they are a type of thermal transfer printer, and they use the solid sticks of CMYK colored ink, which are melted and fed into a piezo crystal operated print head. So basically in this kind of solid ink printers, the ink which is used for this kind of printers is that the solid sticks of CMYK colored ink. So the CMYK means the cyan, magenta, then the yellow, key. So these are the basic combination of colors which is used for the solid ink printers. And we have one more color combination, which is the RGB, which is basically used for the most commonly used for the kind of laser printers and like that. So RGB means the red, green, blue, which is the combination of that category. So we have the CMYK colored ink, so which is in the solid state. So in the solid ink printers we have the solid state, which is the ink which is in the solid state, the CMYK colored ink, and this ink should melt and fed into a piezo crystal operated print head. So this solid state ink, they are melted and fed into the printed head, and this print head sprays the ink onto a rotating oil coated drum. So here also we have the rotating drum, which is in the form of this oil coated, and this oil coated rotating drum, the print head sprays onto this kind of rotating drum, and the paper then passes over the print drum, and at which the time the image is transferred and also or the transfers to the page. And the solid ink printers are most commonly used as the color office printers, and this kind of printers are excellent at printing on the transparencies and other non-porous media. And the solid ink printers can produce excellent results. Acquisition and also the operating cost are similar to the laser printers. And one thing regarding the solid ink printers is that there are two major drawbacks for the solid ink printers. They are, first one is the high power consumption, second one is that the long warm up time in order from a cold state. So the kind of temperature difference may affect this kind of solid ink printers, in which the ink is in the solid form. So basically to maintain that kind of temperature or that kind of state, it takes a kind of long time to warm up from a cold state. So these are the basic drawbacks of the solid ink printers. So Basically, the solid ink printers uses the solid state, which is the ink which is used as which was the CMYK ink, and this colored ink which are melted and fed into the piezo crystal printed head, operating printer head, and this print head sprays onto the rotating kind of this oil coated drum, and with that kind of this process, the paper which is to be printed on that paper should passes over the print drum, at which the time that image is transferred or transfixed to the page. And the solid ink printers are most commonly used for the color printing kind of this applications. So that's regarding the solid ink printers. Now we have the dye sublimation printers. So a dye sublimation printer or a dye sub printer, it employs a printing process that uses the heat to transfer the dye to a medium such as a plastic card or a paper or a canvas, and this process is usually to lay one color at a time using a ribbon that has color panels. So basically the dye sublimation printers uses the process of this heat technology, the heat which helps to transfer the dye to a medium such as a plastic card, paper or a canvas, and this process is usually to lay one color at a time using a ribbon that has color panels. And the dye sub printers are intended primarily for high quality color applications and including the color photography, and are less well suited for the test. And the dye sublimation printers are now increasingly used as dedicated consumer photo printers. So basically the dye sublimation printers is exclusively for the photo kind of this processing kind of this technologies, exclusively for the consumer photo printers. So this means that with the help of this the dye sublimation printers, we can get the photos or the image or any kind of that kind of this media files to be printed, but it is exclusively not for the test or the kind of document printing. And the solid ink printers are basically for the color kind of this printing, and now we have a kind of photo kind of printing for the with the help of these dye sublimation printers. So the major point that we should focus on is that it uses the dye ink to process, and the color it uses is that only uses one color at a time, and with the help of this heat it just transfers this kind of dye to the medium, maybe the plastic or the canvas or whatever it may be. So it just transfers to that medium, and we get the result as a printed photo or that kind of document. So that's regarding the dye sublimation printers. Now we have the inkless printers, which are also known by the name thermal and UV printers. So the thermal printers work by the selectively heating the regions of the special heat sensitive paper. So this kind of printers uses a kind of special heat sensitive paper, and it is also work on the basic principle of the printers, which is the heating. So these kind of printers work by the selectively heating the regions of special heat sensitive paper. So that's the major important principle of the inkless printers. It uses the heating principle by heating these kind of regions on the special heat sensitive paper. And also the monochrome thermal printers are used as the used in the cash registers for the ATMs and the gasoline dispensers and some older inexpensive fax machines. And also colors can be achieved with a special papers and different temperatures and heating the rates for the different colors. So this kind of printing is basically based on this kind of different kind of temperatures measures basically the heating rates of these kind of different kind of these papers, and for the different colors it uses different kind of heating technology, heating time, in order to get that specified kind of that result. So basically this kind of the dye sublimation, the English printers, why we discuss the topic the dye sublimation printers, it is exclusively for the photo kind of image processing, that kind of applications. Now we have the English printers, it is exclusively for the ATM or that kind of billing invoices, that kind of any kind of that applications. And the one of the major drawback of these English printers is that this kind of ink may fade up to 24 hours. So basically we that the receipt that we get from the ATMs, while we checking after 1 or 2 days, the colors may be fade. So basically it uses this English printers, that technology for the ATMs or that kind of many kind of this invoice billings. And the UV printers are English printer which uses a special reusable paper coated with a few micrometers of UV light sensitive chemicals. So basically the paper that uses for these English printers is a kind of special kind of paper, and with the help of this special kind of the special reusable paper coated with a few micrometers of UV light sensitive chemicals. So with the help of that we get this print with the help of basically it just uses the principle of heating technology, and by heating this kind of ink or the kind of any kind of material, we get that result on that printed kind of forms. So that's regarding the English printers or the thermal and UV printers. So I repeat, it uses this kind of monochrome thermal printers, basically used for the cash registers, for the ATMs, gasoline dispensers, etc. And also the major point that we should focus on is that these printers work by selectively the heating regions of special heat sensitive paper, and this the special sensitive paper or this kind of selective paper is that it is a kind of reusable paper coated with a few micrometers of UV light sensitive chemicals. So with the help of that it prints this kind of invoices and bills. So that's regarding the English printers. So now we completed the topic the printers, basically the impact printers and modern printers. And the impact printers, we have two major category which includes the three major category, which includes the daisy wheel printers, then the dot matrix printers, and also the line printers. And in the modern printers we have five major category, which includes the first one was regarding the laser printer or the toner based printers, and also another important category regarding the toner based the printers were the LED printers, and second category was the liquid inkjet printers, then third one was the solid ink printers, and the fourth one was the dye sublimation printers, and the last one was the English printers or the thermal and UV printers. So that's regarding the topic the printers, which is the third topic under the topic the output unit of the computer. So we just completed the output unit section, which includes the monitors, then the speakers, then the printers. Now we have the USB flash drive, which is the fifth topic of this module, which is the second module of this informatics paper. So our fifth topic of this module, which is the introduction to hardware, is the USB flash drive. So what is a USB flash drive? We all are familiar with that topic, which includes the flash drives, means the pen drives and that kind of memory handled devices. So basically a USB flash drive, we can define it as a thumb drive or a pen drive. It consists of a flash memory data storage device integrated with a USB, which means the universal serial bus, which is basically 2.0 interface or 3.0 interface. And basically the USB flash drive means it is a flash memory data storage device which is integrated with the USB, that type of connectors. So it is the definition for the USB flash drive. So basically it carries the memory, kind of specific memory data storage, and also it helps to connect to the computers with the help of these USB connectors, basically the 1.1 kind of that interface or the 2.0 interface for the flash drives. So basically we have different categories of flash drives which includes the different storage capacity and also 2.0 or 3.0 kind of specifications. So the USB flash drive, the basic component or basic principle of the USB flash drive is only one specification, which is the data storage capability. So basically we use the storage capability to store the data to the flash drive in order to carry in purpose. So for the 64 GB or the 32 GB kind of these pen drives, we can carry that amount of data in a single kind of this thumb drive or the flash drive, and we can carry to anywhere with the help of this kind of carrying cases or that kind of pen drives. So that's regarding the introduction to the flash drives or the pen drives. And the USB flash drives are typically removable and rewritable. So the USB drives, it uses the 1.1 or 2.0 or the 3.0 interface, and the USB flash drives are typically removable and rewritable, much smaller than a floppy disk, and most weight less than 30 grams. So this is the introduction to for the USB flash drive. The first point is that it carries the flash kind of flash memory data storage which is integrated with the USB kind of connectors. It was the first point. Second point is that the USB flash drives are typically removable and rewritable, and the third one is that it is much smaller than a floppy drive or any other kind of storage devices, and its weight is less than 30 grams. So that's regarding introduction for the USB flash drives. So the storage capacities in 2010 can be as of that year, we have a capacity of 256 GB with steady improvements in size and price per capacity, and some allow 1 million write or erase cycles and have a 10-year data retention cycle. So basically the manufacturers, they give different kind of specifications for their pen drives or the flash drives, and we have 256 GB up to that kind of storage capability of the flash drives. Then the USB flash drives are often used for the same purposes as floppy disk, where they are smaller, faster, have thousands of times more capacity, and are more durable and reliable because of their lack of moving parts. So it is very important factor regarding the USB flash drive, that they are smaller and also faster and have 1,000 times or more capacity than a normal flash, the floppy disk or any kind of that disk. Basically, while compared to a compact disk, the CD, the basic or the basic model of the CD, it only carries 700 MB. So in the flash drives, we can carry from the 2 GB to 256 GB and above that. So basically, we can carry thousands of data files or media files to the flash drive. So it is one of the important factor regarding the USB flash drives. And flash drives use a USB mass storage standard supported natively by modern operating systems such as Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and also any other kind of that Linux operating systems. And USB drives with the USB 2.0 support can store more data and transfer faster than much larger optical disk drive, and can be read by most other systems. So it is also one of the important feature of the USB flash drive, in which we can read and write the data on that kind of this USB flash drives on any kind of this operating system. It supports almost all three kind of this most commonly used kind of this operating systems, and we can carry that kind of data on that flash drives, and nothing moves mechanically in the flash drive. It is also one of the important factor. And the term drive which includes the computers read and write the flash drive data using the same system commands as for a mechanical disk drive, with the storage appearing to the computer operating system and user interface as just another drive. So the flash drives are very robust mechanically and can withstand anything that does not actually break the circuit board or connector. So the major two components of the flash drives are the circuit board, which means the storage carrying device itself, and also the connector, and we have a kind of outer covering for that circuits and connector. And basically it is very smaller in size, it is very faster by its writing speed, and we can store more amount of data, much amount of data than a floppy or the CD drives on this kind of flash drives. So now we have the flash drives components, the composition of this flash drive. So a flash drive consists of a small printed circuit board carrying the circuit elements and a USB connector. So this is the basic integration of the flash drives. Basically, first point is that a small printed circuit board carrying the circuit elements and also a USB connector. So only two components for this flash drive, but it can carry a much amount of data. So it is very important factor. And these kind of connectors and circuit elements, they are insulated electrically and protected inside a plastic or metal or rubberized case, which can be carried in a pocket or on a keychain, or for example. So that's regarding the major integration or the major composition of the flash drive. It uses two key elements. First one is the circuitry board for the kind of flash drives. It carry the capacity, the storage capacity. Then the USB connector, which is electrically insulated on that circuitry board. And also there should be a covering for these kind of circuits and the USB connector. Then the USB connector may be protected by a removable cap or by retracting into the body of the drive, although it is not likely to be damaged if unprotected. So that connector is one of the major important component, in which without that connector we cannot connect the flash drive to the computer or any other forms of media. Then most drives, they use most kind of these flash drives, they use a standard type A USB connection, allowing the plugging into a port on a personal computer, but drives for other interactions into exist. And most USB drives draw their power from the USB connection itself, do not require a battery. So it is also very important factor. They do not require any kind of battery or any external kind of power source. And another important factor regarding the USB flash drives is that they use the type A USB connectors. So it is very useful to connect for the computers. Then most USB flash drives draw their power from the USB connection itself and does not require any kind of battery. But some devices that combine the functionality of a digital audio player with the flash drive type storage require a battery for a player function. So it is another category of that kind of flash drives. So here we have only the flash drive, the pen drives, in which the composition, the integration, then the technology, uses, then the advantages, disadvantages, all that kind of topics which comes under the major topic, which is the USB flash drive. So now we have the technology used in the flash drives. So the flash memory is a non-volatile computer storage that can be electrically erased and reprogrammed. So the non-volatile means it can carry the data without losing the power, and also it can be electrically erased and reprogrammed. It is the technology that it is primarily used in memory cards and USB flash drives for general storage and transfer of data between the computers and other digital products. And it is a specific type of EEPROM, which means electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. So this is the kind of type of the technology which is used for the flash memory, which means the EEPROM, which means the electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, and which is can be erased and programmed in large blocks. In early flash, the entire chip had to be erased at once, but the flash memory cost far less than a byte programmable EEPROM, and therefore has become the dominant technology wherever a significant amount of non-volatile solid state storage is needed. Example of application includes the PDAs, which means the personal digital assistants, then the laptop computers, digital audio players, cameras, mobile phones, etc. And it is has also gained the popularity in console for the video game hardware too, and where it is often used instead of the EEPROMs or battery powered static RAM, which means the SRAM. So the SRAM means the static RAM for game save data. So basically the flash drives can carry this kind of game kind of hardwares, video game hardwares. It can carry the data for the laptops, for the computers, for the digital audio players, cameras, etc. So it is a very wide area of specifications for the flash drives. And one thing is that it uses the EEPROM, which means the electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, which means we can erase the data of that pen drives, we can program, we can format that kind of data, and we can also rewrite that kind of data on the pen drive. So that's the basic technology for the USB flash drives. And the flash memory is non-volatile. No power is needed to maintain the information stored in the chip. It is also very important. So while we discuss the topic, the storage devices, we discussed about the volatile memory and non-volatile memory. So this category, the storage devices, comes under the non-volatile memory, which means no power is needed to maintain the information stored in the chip. In addition, the flash memory offers a fast read access times, although not fast as a volatile RAM memory, but better kinetic shock resistance than the hard disk. So basically it is also one of the important feature of the flash drive, in which it is a shock resistance than the hard disk, and also it can carry the data, and also it can read the data in a very speedy manner. So that's regarding the technology used in the flash drives, and also the major features which explains the popularity of flash memory in portable devices. Another feature of flash memory is that when packaged in a memory card, it is extremely durable, being able to withstand intense pressure, extremes of temperature, and even immersion in water. So this is basically the major important practical use of the flash drives. So we use the flash memory for the kind of for the carrying purposes. We can read and we can write that kind of data to the flash drive. Even we can install the OS on that kind of with the help of that kind of flash drives, in which we have to convert the flash drives to the bootable form. So basically it is very durable, it is very good in its nature, but only disadvantage, the major disadvantage of this kind of flash drives is that the virus attack or any kind of that error, it may erase all the data on the pen drive. So it is also very important drawback of the flash drives. So that's regarding the technology used in the flash drive. So the EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, it is the technology used for the flash drives. So that's regarding the technology used in the flash drives. Now we have the components of the flash drives. So now we have the components of the flash drive. So the flash drive can be categorized in different levels based on that memory level capacity, but we have only one kind of major component or the major types of flash drive, in which the USB connector, the USB mass storage control device, the test points, the flash memory chip, the crystal oscillator, then the LED, the write protect switch, which is an optional thing, then the space for the second flash memory chip. So these are the major components of the flash drive. So basically these are also commonly used for the every kind of that flash drives. So one end of that device is fitted with a single male type A USB connector, and inside the plastic casing is a small printed circuitry board, and mounted on this board is some power circuitry and a small number of surface mounted integrated circuits, which means the ICs. Typically, one of these ICs provides an interface to the USB port, another drives the onboard memory, and the other is the flash memory. So there is the kind of division on that kind of components. Basically it uses that circuitry board. So before that I just discussed about the two major components, which include the circuitry board and a USB connector. So now we focus on the circuitry board itself. So it is basically made of these integrated circuits, which means the ICs, and typically one of these ICs provides an interface to the USB port. So first one is for the USB port to connect from the to the computer and for the to disconnect. So it is the first important feature component. Second one, another drives the onboard memory. So second one just controls the memory of that flash drive, and the third one which controls the flash memory. So basically these are the major important components of the flash drive, basically while discussing on the topic the circuitry board. Then so this is regarding the introduction for that. Then we have the essential components of a flash drive, which includes the male type A USB connector. So the USB A type connector means the commonly used kind of the USB connectors, which is used to connect to the computers and any other kind of that kind of devices. So this is the first major important component of the flash drive. So this provides an interface to the host, the computer. Second one is the USB mass storage controller. So the USB mass storage means the kind of data which is stored on that flash drive. So it just controls that kind of functions, and this implements the USB host controller, and the controller contains a small microcontroller with a small amount of on-chip ROM and RAM. So this means that it just controls the kind of small amount of a chip of ROM and RAM. So basically the USB flash drives have a capacity, major capacity, and this capacity is controlled by the USB mass storage controller. So this is the second part of that flash drive. Third one is the NAND flash memory chip, NAND. So the NAND flash memory chip means it stores the data, and this NAND flash is typically also used in the digital camera. So it helps to store the data on that flash drive. So the first one was the male type A USB connector. Second one was regarding the USB flash mass storage controller. Third one was the NAND flash memory chip, and now we have the fourth one, which is the crystal oscillator. So the crystal oscillator is a very important term regarding the flash drives. It produces the device main 12 megahertz clock signal and controls the device data output through a phase locked loop. So with the help of this crystal oscillator, it helps to read and write the data on the flash memory. So it produces the device's main to the 12 megahertz clock signal and controls the device data. So basically it just produces the device signal and then it controls the device data output through a phase locked loop. So that's regarding the crystal oscillator. So these are the major 4 important components of a flash drive. So I repeat, the first one is the main USB type A connector. Second one was the USB mass storage controller, which controls all that kind of storage settings. Third one was the NAND flash memory chip. It stores the data. Simply it just shows the data. The fourth one was the crystal oscillator. So it just controls the device data output through the phase locked loop, and also it produces the device main to a 12 megahertz kind of that speed. So that's regarding the essential components of a flash drive. Now we have some additional components which include the jumpers and test pins, then the LEDs to indicate the data transfers, then the write protect switch in order to protect the data loss on that storage device. And while we switch on that kind of function on the flash drives or memory cards, it just protect the data on that drive. We cannot delete it, we cannot copy it, and we cannot move that file to any other forms. So that the write product switches. And the unpopulated space means it provides the space to include a second memory chip. This is an optional thing. The fifth one is the USB connector cover or cap. So it just protect that connector. Then the transport aid. So the transport aid means the cap or a body often contains a hole suitable for connection for the keychain. So it is also another important feature of that flash drive. We can carry with the keychain. Then some drives offer expandable storage via the internal memory card slot, much like a memory card reader. So basically the flash drives also a different category, which means the card reader, in which we can put the memory card onto the card reader. We can expand that card reader, that specification, by expanding the memory card storage capacity. So these are the other additional kind of that components. So the jumpers and test pins, the first one, which means for the testing during the flash drives manufacturing. It is exclusively for the manufacturing purpose. Second one was the LEDs to indicate that speed and the transfers, and also the reads and write kind of that specifications. The third one is the write protected switches. It is also an optional thing. Then the unpopulated space, it is a free space on that flash drives. Then the USB connector cover cap, it is also a additional thing. Then the transport aid, which means we can connect the keychains like that with the flash drives. And some drives also support this expandable storage, which means exclusively for the card readers. So these are the additional components of the flash drive. So basically we have 4 major components, and additionally we have 7 additional components for the flash drives. So basically it is a very small device. It has a kind of different kind of these components, which includes the basic essential components includes the male type A USB connector, then the USB mass storage controller, then the NAND flash memory chip, then the crystal oscillator. So these are the major components of a flash drive. Then flash drives comes in various, sometimes bulky or novelty shapes and sizes, and some manufacturers uses their product by using the elaborate housings which are also often used bulky and make up the drive difficult to connect to the USB port. So basically different manufacturers, which includes the Sony, the SanDisk, and like that. So all that kind of manufacturers, they produce different kind of these flash drives according to their specifications, and there may be a USB logo on that cable on that port, and also different kind of dimensions and the regarding the storage capacity. All these details should be mentioned on that drive itself. Then the USB flash drive has been integrated into other commonly carried items such as watches, pens, and also the small size robustness and cheap pens of USB flash drives make them an increasingly popular peripheral. So it is a kind of commonly used kind of storage device which is the flash drive. So that's regarding the major components of the flash drive. So regarding the flash drive, we just go through the introduction to the flash drives, then the technology used in the flash drives, which is the EEPROM, which is the electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Then we discussed about the components of the flash drive, which we divide into essential components and the additional components. And now we have two more topics under the USB flash drive. So regarding that, first one is the uses of the flash drives, second one is the advantages and disadvantages of the flash drives. So what are the uses of the flash drives? So the major uses we can divide into different category. The first one is the personal data transport. So basically we can carry all this kind of data to the storage device. So it is also a important feature of the USB flash drive. So first point is the personal data transport. So the most common use of flash drives is to transport and store the personal files such as the documents, pictures and videos. The second one is the system administration. So the first one is to carry all this kind of data. Second one is regarding the system administration. So system administration means these kind of flash drives are particularly popular among the system and network administrators who load them with the configuration information and software used for the system maintenance, then troubleshooting and recovery. And they are also used to transfer the recovery and antivirus software to the infected PCs, and also like that it also with the help of that flash drives we can make that flash drives as bootable one, in which we can install the OS on a laptop or a computer with the help of this flash drive. So it is also a very important feature of the USB flash drive. So first one was regarding the personal data transport, second one is regarding the system administration, the third one is regarding the application carriers. So what are the application carriers of the USB flash drives? So basically the flash drives are used to carry the applications that run on the host computer without requiring the installation. So it means a specific kind of that flash drive require additional softwares to install on the computer in order to read that kind of flash drives. So basically most commonly the flash drive, they detect that kind of drive on the computer with the help of the softwares that already installed on the computers. So there is a kind of there is no need of that kind of additional softwares, but in order to recover the software, the data on the flash drives, we need additional kind of softwares. So it is regarding the application carriers of the flash drives. So it is this third point. The fourth point is the that we already discussed about that, which is the booting operating system. So basically with the help of this flash drive, we can make that flash drive into a bootable form by converting into a bootable form, and by copying the data from the in the form of the ISO image file, the operating system also can be carried through the flash drive. So this means that we can install the OS or the any kind of that the softwares and the OS with the help of these flash drives. Then the audio players. So with the help of this connecting to the audio players, we can play the music with the help of this USB flash drive, in which we can store the music files, the audio, the music on the flash drives, and we can play on with the help of these music players. And some audio players, they comes with the USB type A connectivity, in which we can store the data directly to the audio players itself. So for the example, that kind of this audio players includes the Philip Go Gear and iPod Shuffle, that kind of audio players, and some of these players are true USB flash drives as well as the music players. Others do not support the generic purpose data storage. So there is also different categories under the audio players. So that's regarding the another important feature of the USB flash drives. Then the music storage and marketing. So this means that the digital audio files can be transported from one computer to another like any other file with the help of this USB flash drives. In addition, many home, hi-fi and car stereo head units are now equipped with a USB port, which means that we can use this kind of flash drive in order to play the music in the car, in the home stereos like that, the home theaters, etc. So which means it can plug in and play function of that the USB flash drives. Then the brand and product promotion. So which means that the availability of inexpensive flash drives has enabled them to use for the promotional and marketing purposes, particularly within technical and computer industry circles. They may be given away for free, sold at less than wholesale price, or included as a bonus with another purchase product. So this means that some unbranded kind of that flash drives and this kind of memory cards, they just give additional additional offers by buying any other kind of devices, and they just give this as a gift with that, which means while we purchasing a mobile phone, or for example we get a memory card as a additional offer. So this means that this is a kind of marketing and promotion. So it is also a kind of use of these flash drives. Then the backup, which is the last use of this flash drives, which means some value added resellers are now using a flash drive as a part of small business turnkey solutions, and this drive is used as a backup medium. So we can back up all the data on the flash drives, and also the external hard disk, which also a kind of this flash memory kind of that technology which is used on the external hard disk also. We can carry all this kind of data, the important data, on the flash drives. So these are the major uses of the USB flash drives. So the first one was the personal data transport. It is the one of the most important factor. Second one was the system administration, in which we can install a software with the help of this flash drive. Third one was the application carriers. We can carry different kind of applications basically for the recovery softwares, and built-in softwares may installed on the computers while we connect the USB flash drive to the computer. Then the fourth one was regarding the booting operating system, in which we can boot the OS, or we can install the OS with the help of these flash drives by converting the flash drive to a bootable form. Then the audio players, which is the fifth kind of that use. Then the music storage and marketing, we can store the data of like the music and any other kind of that media files. Then the brand and product promotion, we can use these kind of USB flash drives for the promotions purpose also. And lastly, we discussed about the backup option of that USB flash drives. So these are the major uses of the flash drives. Now we have one more topic, which is the advantages and disadvantages of the flash drives. So that we discuss in the next class. So in this class we discussed about the three basic printers, which includes the solid ink printers, dye sublimation printers, and inkless printers. Then we discussed about the USB flash drive, introduction to the USB flash drive, then the technology used for that, then the components, and also the major uses of the flash drives. So that's for today. Thank you. Happy learning.